Welcome to the breakdown. Today we're going to be talking about 5 ways successful people become successful. These are 5 habits or life hacks or whatever you want to call them that I found a lot of successful people do in my time of working with them, and things I've taken and used to become successful myself. Now, you may find all these helpful, you may find a few of these helpful. Everybody's different, everybody's work situation is different. So take from this what you want, and hopefully we'll help you learn something new. Be careful of people who always promise, well, if you just did this, you will always be successful. That's just not true. Now, what I can tell you is these are 5 things I've seen that help a lot of people to become successful. So take them, apply them how you see fits for you, and hopefully we helped you out. Now, if you want to help us out, do us a big favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. And hopefully we can help you learn something new. Now, if you have any suggestions on these, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear some of your suggestions on this topic. It really does help. Maybe a future video, I'll include some of them. All right, let's start off with number 1. Be flexible. Many of the most successful people I've ever met are flexible, and this helps them respond to what's happening in the world around them. Often people become very tunnel visioned. They have one particular goal, one particular objective, and they're so locked on that they're unwilling to waver from it to take advantage of opportunities that appear. We've probably all seen successful businesses grow stale and die out because they failed to adapt and change. Now, schedules and plans are all good things. Scheduling and planning to the point where you have no flexibility, no ability to adapt to what's happening around you will cause you to fail. Successful people see opportunities and take advantage of them. When I started my previous site, it was never meant to be my business. It was a hobby, which is something I wanted to do for fun. Quickly saw an opportunity there, and I changed my life plans. I changed my work career, I changed a lot, and put effort behind it because I was willing to do that. I've seen a lot of different channels, YouTube, work, businesses, and more, keep plugging along a certain particular path, even though they're going by potential opportunities, because the person in charge is just focused on what's in front of him and unwilling to change the path no matter what. A lot of YouTube channels, a lot of businesses, a lot of bands, and more started moving in one particular direction, found an opportunity, made a turn, and became very successful because of it. So as you go throughout your day, when you go out through your life, plan, have objectives, have goals, but don't do it to the point that you become so rigid to them that you can't be successful. That's one of the most important things. I really do mean that. Being flexible, being able to respond to what's happening around you will help you become successful. All right, number 2. This is going to be simple. You probably heard it a lot, but I want to add a little bit to it. Be on time and take time to prep for your day. Now, I cannot tell you how many people do not even come to work on time. That does hurt them. Their ability to be successful has just greatly reduced by not being work on time because people notice that. Are you going to promote the guy who's always late? No, you're not. The other flip side of this is take the time to prepare for your day. For example, if you work at a fast food joint, you're probably saying, Luke, what does it matter? I work at a fast food joint, I come in, I work, I leave. Well, what happens if you took the time to actually, before you left, if you're, let's say you're running the fryers, to say, hey, you know what, we're running low on the cooking oil. Now, we don't need it right now, but we are going to need it very soon, and probably when I'm gone, or maybe when I come back tomorrow, I'm going to need it. Now, you think the boss is going to like if you show up and say, hey, old boss, hey, I'm completely out of cooking oil. Or, hey, I'm heading out for the day, but I noticed that we're running low on cooking oil. We're going to need it here probably tomorrow. Do you think your boss is going to like you if you responded to it as it happened, or if you were proactive? Taking your time to plan your day is very beneficial. It helps you stay on task, get things done that need to be done, and not avoid things. Now, if you're like me, things get busy, things fall through the cracks. Having a plan helps avoid that. Now, all I would do is write down 3 or 4 objectives for the day I wanted to accomplish. Not necessarily, I'm not a big, every 15-minute block it out kind of person, especially with the kind of work I was doing. You're very reactive to what's happening around you. But I did have objectives. Okay, here are 3 things I really need to accomplish tomorrow. and I'll do them as I can. Now, with that, be flexible, don't get too locked into it. But prep it. For example, you get to work. Rather than diving into a project and having to stop it to go get an item, go get part, take the time to get all your items in a row. It may feel like you're slow getting started, but once you get started, you're going to be a lot faster. Taking the time to plan, taking the time to be prepared and on time really helps you stand out, because your boss remembers it. He remembers that guy who was proactive in a positive light. The guy who is reactive, or woman, I'm from Michigan, we say guys for all. When you're reactive, that's not a good thing. Often bad things happen when you're just being reactive, not proactive. So keep that in mind. Plan, be on time, and get all your ducks in a row. Look around you. I would often, right before I went home from work, kind of go over what do I need tomorrow. Send out a few emails, a few things that I know I'm going to need for tomorrow from people, rather than waiting for the day off. So keep that in mind. All right. And as always, don't be afraid to do a little bit after work or a little bit before work. It can really help you advance. A lot of people say, well, I'm not getting paid. But you know that 15 minutes sitting on the couch watching TV to send out a few emails can really help you be productive. I know a lot of people don't like that. They say, I don't want to do it, I'm not getting paid. But I find that really helps you stand out. All right, so let's keep moving along into number 3, set realistic goals. Now, goals are a good thing, but you got to make them realistic, at least in the short term. Now, we all have, the shoot for the moon. You hear that line. The long-term, big picture dream we all have, right? The failure comes when, hey, this is my long-term goal. I'm trying to get there, but I didn't look down at the issues in front of me, and that causes me to trip and fall on my way to my ultimate objective. Often in America, we're very much, I just want to jump in and be successful. What you don't see is a lot of the small steps that get you there. Sometimes you just need to look down at your feet and say, hey, there's a rock here I need to step around. There's a pothole here I need to avoid. There's a log over there I don't want to trip on. Now, if I just was focused on a long-term goal of, hey, I want to have a huge business, you're never going to do the small things that are going to get you to the point where you need to be a big business. So have your long-term big goals, but each day set realistic objectives. As I always say, look down at your feet. What's around you? What can we address immediately in front of us that will help me get to that long-term objective? Also, setting realistic goals helps you manage your mental health, your stress, and more at work. Hey, I'm going to set 3 realistic goals for today that will all help me move forward towards my ultimate objective. If I get additional time, I'm going to do more work. But these are the 3 things that need to happen today. Trying to cram too much in will result in 2 things. A, you'll never complete it and you'll always be behind schedule, which compounds over time, and bosses don't like that. 2, you'll do poor quality work in a rush to try to get it done, and you won't be able to actually get the work that is needed done. So keep that in mind. You want to set realistic goals that help you achieve your long-term big picture vision you may have. So don't let me try to convince you or try to tell you here that you can't have a big goal. You can't have a dream or a moonshot project, as a lot of people call them. You just need realistic goals that you can do each day that help you move towards that big picture. So keep that in mind. And I really could tell you anything. It would be realistic in your daily objectives. All right, number 4, find something that drives you or someone. Now, we often hear about sports athletes have rivals, right? It's the rivalry. Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, Auburn, Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State, and more. Michael Jordan was notorious for this, finding somebody who he competes against, somebody who was said to be better than him drives him. This works in business too. Having sub-goals, now just arbitrary goals of we just want to be the best is fine, but hey, we're going to dominate this particular market. Who's our main competition in that market? Okay, well, we're going to try to beat them. Now, always look forward. A lot of times we get habits in this that, hey, we're going to look at that guy who's just starting up, who's clearly smaller than us. Aren't we so great, right? Well, that's not really driving you, is it? Find somebody who's equal to you or bigger than you in your field And there is always somebody, I don't care what people say, there's always somebody. Even Google, who dominates certain markets, has competitors who are pushing them, driving them, and more. You want that. Now, don't let yourself become obsessed with it. Don't let yourself become underhanded, unethical in how you do it. But having that goal, right? Hey, there's a website a lot larger than me. There's a business a lot larger than me. I want to become that size. I want to become bigger than them. How am I going to take that drive to go there? I always said, hey, I may not be the best writer. I'm not the best YouTuber. I'm not the best public speaker. But I will work harder than my competition does. And I found that helped me get a lot ahead. How can I work harder than my competition to be successful? What is that for you? That could be different. And you need to find that. You could be a realtor and say, hey, there's this guy in the office who's selling more homes than me. He sold 4 homes last month, or 5 homes, or 6 homes, or whatever it may be. I want to beat that. That's my goal. That's my competition. Now, I can have a friendly rivalry with him. Sports athletes do that all the time. But use that to kind of drive yourself. So find something in you that's going to drive you, other than some vague, hey, we're going to be the best we can possibly be. No, like, hey, there is a newspaper I know that's from Missouri. I know a newspaper owner down there, and he compares himself to all of his competitors in that town. He regularly says, hey, you know, that they have so many YouTube followers, social media followers, page views, subscribers, whatever it may be. We're going to beat them. We may be the largest in this little thing, but we're always going to be working hard to make sure we maintain that. So keep that in mind. As you go through life, as you grow, as you develop, do what you need to do to be successful in that. Do what you need to do to keep moving forward, keep being successful. And a drive works in sports, it works in business. Now, be ethical, don't play dirty, and always remember, have a little bit good nature. But it really does work to keep you driven, keep you motivated. And pretty much every successful person out there I've ever seen uses some type of competition, some type of adversary or competitor to help them drive their business forward. So keep that in mind. And just remember, it's important not to let it control you. All right, number 5, build professional relationships and social networking. Now, this is very important. I would still say flexibility is probably more important, but this is very important. Your ability to be successful often comes down to who you know. Now, I've been successful in fields where I didn't know anyone, but I made a concerted effort to build relationships inside that industry, and over time it paid off. Now, this isn't something that's going to come overnight, and it's something you have to do for everybody. For example, that coworker for you may someday be in a position where they can give you a favor, offer you a job, offer you work, help you get a promotion because they think positively of you. Positivity of you comes in a few ways. You know, your work actually has to be good, but you also have to have a good relationship. You can be the best worker, but if everybody thinks of you as, man, it's just not a nice person, not somebody you want to be around. Do you think they're going to think of you? Or maybe you are fine, but you're a complete wall, fly in the wall, and no one pays any attention to you. No one even really knows you. You just kind of quietly do your work. Do you think you're going to be remembered when it comes time for a promotion? Probably not. Spend the time to network and avoid the us versus them battles between employees and management. Do you think that manager is going to think positively of you for a promotion if they just remember you just kind of being an aggravator, somebody who's always us versus them? That's not going to work out too well for you. Now, and this happens too. I've had this happen. You work for a company, business goes under. Management gets a job at another company. That company's kind of absorbing their business, needs some extra help. Are they going to call you? Build that professional relationship inside your company, outside your company, network. We've all heard it, right? I need to get something done in a faster manner than is typical. Well, if I know somebody, maybe I can call in a personal favor. Or I know somebody who knows somebody. Take advantage of that. It really does help pay off, helps you stand out. Take advantage of things like LinkedIn and social networking sites made for businesses or business people. Get involved with networking groups in your area. There are often meetups where professionals in a particular field will network. Get involved in that. Even if you're like me, maybe not the most social person in the world, do it. You don't have to be personal best friends with them to have a good business relationship. I work very hard to do that in the job. And it can be something as small as like, hey, XYZ business that I work kind of alongside, they're having their 10th anniversary. Well, let me send a card. Let me spend 5 minutes on the phone with the owner, say, hey, Jim, here you hit 10 years in business this month. Just wanted to say congratulations. I know how hard it is to make a business successful. Doing it for 10 years is crazy good. That helps build relationships. Something minor like that, sending a card, sending a package. Hey, I heard something, your mom passed away. I'm going to send some flowers to the funeral. Little things like that add up. Keeps you at the top of mind people. Helps them have a positive memory of you. So keep that in mind. All right, there are the 5 things I've noticed successful people do to become successful and stay successful. If you have any tips or suggestions, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. It really does help us because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. Hopefully we can help you learn something new. All right, everybody, take care. I'll be back next week with more videos. I appreciate your support.